Okay, so this video is just to compare the 35 1050 17 Kendas that are on the truck right now in this video versus the 37 1250 17 Nittos that are on right here in this video. Now, this isn't comparing all-terrain like these ones versus the other ones that were more of a mud terrain. Not a strict mud terrain, but they were close. That's not what we're talking about here. We're just talking about the 35 versus the 37 on the Tacoma. So 35s, you can almost do it minimal cutting. If they were 1250s, still minimal cutting. It's just the size of them. Once you get to 37s, you do have to tub your firewalls, cut a lot. And when you think you cut enough, you got to cut a little bit more because you didn't cut enough. So just keep that in mind if you're going 37s. You got to cut a lot. Obviously, the stock fender flares had to go. I had them on my 35s, but I cut them off to go to 37s. No big deal. It gives me more clearance. I don't rub on things. I don't like rubbing on things and ripping stuff off on the trail. I'd rather make it all work freely and move the way it's supposed to be. But on 37s, it just kind of walks over things a little bit easier than 35s do. There's a couple comparisons here. Don't have all the same videos of 35s versus 37s, but that's beside the point. Just going over what you got to do, what I did, my experience, which I love the 37s. They're great. Yeah, I break CV axles, but I'd rather that break than anything else. So yeah, I could probably get beefier CVs for the time being before I do the solid axle swap, but there's really no point. I'd rather break one of those at $100 versus my whole diff and not being able to drive home. So there's that. Obviously, if I had a front locker, it would probably help the braking. We've been down that road before, but I'm just going to replace the whole suspension in the front and rear anyway. But they do well. 37s are definitely fun to drive on. 35s, they were fun while they lasted. But you always need more. And I think 37s actually look a lot more proportional on the truck. So you can see it. I'm just showing you the same shock setup on my 35s. That's what's in this video. Only did the CMC, a little bit of cutting on the fender flare down at the bottom. I still had inner fenders on 35s. So you will lose your inner fenders unless you figure out a way to mount them again. I haven't taken the time to try to do it, so I still don't have inner fenders yet. I just keep it clean. But you can see the clearance around the wheel well on the fender flares still on the truck. And part of the stock bumper I cut a little bit for a little bit better clearance there, the Viper cut, as they call it. And I still had the factory bed when I was on 35s, so there's a difference there. But I didn't rub anything on the back on 35s. So there's the 37s. Obviously, I got a new bumper, so the front clearance is going to be a little bit different on your own vehicle, but on mine, I did do a new bumper, which is probably recommended. If you're going to 37s, you're probably off-roading, unless you're just driving around the mall parking lot. Who knows? But same shocks, same setup, same wheels. 37s in the truck again. Did have to do spacers on 37s because I was rubbing on the upper control arm right there. And I did not do anything in this video yet, but you can see right there where the mud splashed up on the side. The very last mark is where I did cut to, so it was about 2 inches I took off to tub the firewalls. But other than that, I love them. 37s are great. If you have any questions, reach out. I'm more than willing to talk to you about it.